You know what's crazy is that I was just like sitting here and like talking to my ChatGPT as I do about just like asking questions about random life shit. And I was looking up here and I remember back in the day being like when I was like 18. And I used to love Basquiat because I was looking at it, I was like, this is such an alternative wall. And then like there's the Basquiat that's right in the middle of it. Like I have different posters over there of different kind of cultural, like Bob Marley, J. Cole, Jimi Hendrix, but like this was more like alternative kind of aspect, gothic kind of aspect, and then I have the Basquiat right here, and it fits in and it fits in like so well as well. So I was just like, I don't remember what the fuck the painting meant. Like I have another Basquiat here. I had more in my closet, but I was just like, damn, like it's been such a long time that like I fucking forgot what the fuck it means. So like I wanted to see what's up. Nowadays I'm so 2026 that I just take pictures of shit and ask ChatGPT what does it mean instead of like deep diving into Google. What is this painting? And what's the name?
This painting is typically known as Untitled 1982 by Jean-Michel Basquiat. It's often recognized as part of his blackboard or chalkboard series due to the dark background and diagram-like white markings. It's not named with a specific title. Basquiat often left works untitled, so it's referred to by the year. It's iconic for the crown symbol and the blend of anatomical, mathematical, and cultural references. Basquiat's pieces like this often explore power, knowledge, and identity in his unique visual language.
Go into it into more depth. Like, what's the symbolism of the crown and the words and everything?
Basquiat's crown is one of his most iconic symbols. Often he used it to anoint black figures, heroes, athletes, musicians with a sense of majesty, reclaiming power in a world where they were often marginalized. The crown elevates them to royalty, dignity, and significance. The scattered words and diagrams are like a stream of consciousness, sometimes referencing scientific knowledge, anatomy, or history. He juxtaposed textbook-like elements with chaotic strokes, reflecting his critique of how knowledge is taught or who it serves. He often included names like Malcolm X or athletes to highlight Black excellence and struggle. In essence, the layering of words, symbols, and diagrams represents the complexity of identity, social structures, and history. Basquiat's art is like a visual jazz, pulling from many influences while pushing us to think about power, race, and knowledge in new ways.
Visual jazz. Go into that into more depth because of like the stream of consciousness.
Visual jazz is a great metaphor for Basquiat's work because just like in jazz music, his paintings riff on themes spontaneously. His lines, symbols, and text flow across the canvas in an improvisational way. Words might be crossed out or repeated, like a musician playing with notes and rhythms. He'd juxtapose imagery, crowns, skulls, anatomical drawings like instruments in conversation. The result is layered and complex, inviting you to feel and interpret rather than just read a single message. Like jazz, it's raw, improvisational, and deeply personal.
What's like the cultural relevance behind this piece?
Basquiat emerged from the New York underground art scene of the late 70s and early 80s. He started as a graffiti artist. By 1982, he had risen to global fame, but he remained deeply concerned with race, inequality, and power. In this piece, the crown can be seen as a statement of elevating Black figures to royalty, celebrating Black excellence in a world where such recognition was often denied. The scattered anatomical diagrams, mathematical symbols, and references to historical figures reflect the disjointed, sometimes oppressive nature of traditional education or narratives. Basquiat wanted to reclaim that space, infusing art with the raw truth of Black identity. In the 1980s, this resonated strongly, and it continues to be culturally relevant today. His work opened doors for future generations of artists to explore identity, power, and social critique.
I love that because, you know, I've had this painting above my head for the last 5 years, and it's been the most significant 5 years of my life, especially being Black and like having a lot of the same mindset in terms of uplifting Black figures and really how oppression has really made black figures really have to be uplifted and is left in such the way it is, and especially with like I'm very big on revolution and oh, I see the Malcolm X on the on the painting. It's like alone. It's like alone by itself. It just says Malcolm X. I did have a Malcolm X poster. I don't know where the fuck my Malcolm X poster is, but I had it in my old house.
It sounds like this piece has been quietly witnessing your journey, and it's powerful that its themes resonate so deeply with your own values and lived experience. Art has this way of reflecting back what matters most to us, and it seems like Basquiat's visual language lines up with your revolutionary spirit. And hey, maybe that Malcolm X poster will turn up again in a new space, just like how you're always evolving, but carrying those same core beliefs with you.
Yeah, because that's exactly what Basquiat was doing as well. That's what drew me to a lot of Basquiat's other pieces as well, was the cultural significance of it. And I was very much into Basquiat a lot more when I was like 18. Now I'm 25, and you know, obviously a lot more art has come into my psyche and just experience a lot more art. But along the way, like my spirit within like the revolutionary kind of spirit and you know, just like fighting for like civil rights and this activism has always been incredibly prevalent within me, and just having that as something that's there is super just impactful. I feel as though so in 1982 is when he blew up when the painting like can you give me more of the history in terms of what was going on in that time, in the sense of like he blew up at that time, but what are some other pieces he was making? What are the pieces he made before to lead up to that? Kind of like a little bit more of like the history, so I could get like more of a well-rounded picture. And me and my compadres here.
Absolutely. Basquiat's rise was meteoric, but rooted in the raw energy of late 70s New York. Before 1982, he was tagging the streets under the name Samo with poetic messages. In 1981, he got noticed with his piece Untitled Skull, a striking skeletal head that's now iconic. By 1982, he was painting feverishly. The crown motif emerged on pieces like Charles I, honoring jazz saxophonist Charlie Parker. He also painted Untitled Boxer, celebrating black athletes. At the same time, the art world was fascinated by neo-expressionism, and Basquiat embodied that raw emotion. In 1982, he had his first solo show and began collaborating with Andy Warhol shortly after. All these works, whether referencing jazz, sports, or history, spoke to his insistence on uplifting black brilliance while critiquing systemic oppression. In conclusion, this is one of Basquiat's blackboard works, typically called Untitled 1982. It's a raw, layered reflection of power and knowledge, with his crown symbol elevating black figures. It's part of his larger narrative of reclaiming identity and resisting oppression.
I love it. I love it. And it's so ironic that it's above my head in the last like 5 years. It's been, being here has been the most pivotal times of my life in terms of building and growing and becoming better and becoming the best version of myself and becoming more of a professional. And you know, I started UD here. I started everything here. So I started really uprising here. So that's just amazing to me, and I have to keep that going. I can't help but keep that going. It's right here. It's the symbol for such. So I love that. I need to really tap in more with Basquiat. Let's tap in on some videos. Let's do it together. Let's tap in on some more Basquiat together. I'm gonna make some more videos tapping on Basquiat. Make sure y'all look out for those. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tag it on the video.